here we go. Hi Daisy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all good. Very busy, so that is good. Keeping me out of mischief, kind of. Um,
That's good. That's always good.
just let's just start. Could you let us know who you are? What do you do on National Tutors, and a bit about your background, if you could.
Yeah, so I'm Daisy. I'm currently doing the language, well, half of the English language program on National Tutors, which has been
Yeah,
really, really fun. It's been really good.
it's so good.
And I'm an English teacher and also a coach. So that's the majority of the work that I do. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've both done the coaching course, haven't we? The same coaching course.
Yeah,
So
same
yeah,
coaching
that's
course.
actually you. It
Smart.
might. Yeah, I'm going to do some of the coaching. Well, I have started coaching for we do the free mentoring session a week, don't we? So
Mhm,
I've actually done
mhm.
a coaching thing on there, and I'm going to introduce it. But at any point, if you want to come on
Great.
board and do a bit of coaching as well,
Yeah, definitely.
that's
Definitely. I'm
good.
always coaching.
Yeah, yeah. So what attracted you to National Tutors? Because you're a tutor full time, aren't you?
Yeah, full time. I've been full time since January of this year. So I think the main thing was that I worked with a lot of home education students across the years. And I'm very interested actually in the kind of alternative provision, education,
Mm.
sort of education away from school sort of area. And that's where I kind of want to work in the future. I'm very
Yeah,
passionate about how work, especially teaching online, can support neurodivergent students who can't attend school. That's kind of my like
yeah,
my
that is your
heart.
baby. I know, same here,
Yeah,
same here. Yeah,
yeah.
do
Which
so
is why I
much of
do
it in
fully
school.
online. Yeah, it's why I do fully online because I'm very passionate about that kind of accessibility aspect there. So I was wanting to do some resources because I think it's important that parents get and students get access to really high quality resources.
Yeah,
And then I've forgotten where I saw it. It was on LinkedIn or something. I saw your
probably
post.
LinkedIn. Yeah,
Maybe it was in by Tutor, I'm not sure, in one of the groups. And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. It sounds like a
I know,
nice
and it is.
challenge. New.
I know,
Yeah.
and between you and Lucy doing the language, and
Yeah.
we're gonna hopefully have third English teacher doing
Yeah.
the grammar. What is grammar? Why is everyone just like,
Grammar,
oh, don't do grammar.
yeah, grammar is like I know very few English teachers who really like grammar.
Yeah, there are a few. They are
There
very
are a
good, but they love a
few.
bit of grammar, and I'm like,
Yeah, I have one friend who loves grammar, and I'm always just like,
yeah. What? It's like,
hmm,
it's like with science. We have our favourite sort of subjects, and
yeah.
let's say when my students go, "Oh, can we do physics?" I'm like, "Oh, do we have to?"
Yeah, physics sounds like it would
I
be
love
the
it.
great
No, I do like,
science.
yeah. We've all got our favourite aspects, haven't we, of our
Exactly,
subjects, so it's
exactly,
it's all good.
exactly.
So, what did you do before tutoring?
So I was a TA for a term and then I also went on and did a PGCE, but the PGCE was in 2019, 2020. So I got hit by COVID. And then after that, I spent a couple of years, I wasn't very well. I got long COVID, so I had a couple of years of kind of resting basically.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
horrible.
I kept being like, I'm going to go back into schools, I'm going back into schools. And then eventually I was like, actually, I don't want to go back into schools. I want to
Yeah,
tutor, I want to work in smaller groups, and I want to work online.
yeah,
So that's what I started tutoring. Yeah.
yeah. COVID, long COVID has hit so many of my
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, it was pretty
So,
rough.
and even like a couple of the other tutors here on National Tutors as well. But
And that's the beauty of online tutoring, is that it's also accessible for me as someone who's chronically ill.
yeah,
So it's great.
yeah, and yeah, there's other people out there that can. Because I find working in a school, it was working in a school so exhausting. It's
Yeah,
constant.
I used to come home and I used to fall asleep at like, and I do this occasionally now still because I have chronic fatigue. But I'd come home and I would fall asleep at like 7 and then wake up at 5. And I would do that 2 or 3 times a week. And I remember my friend that I lived with was just like, "Are you alive?" I was like, "I'm just tired."
It's
Yeah.
funny how these things affect us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's life choice. I think you've
Mhm.
done the best thing. It's lovely and it's
Yeah,
amazing having
definitely.
you.
I love tutoring. It's the
Yeah,
best choice.
it's so nice having you on board, and your lessons are, yeah, they're just brilliant. We love them. We love them. So, and it's a very popular course as well.
Yeah, I always try and it's really funny because I'm quite comfortable doing them, and then every now and again I'll make a joke, and then I'll laugh at my own joke, and I'm just there like, "Ah." So
I,
I hope students find that endearing rather than kind of strange and a bit kind of crazy.
I've done that on my recordings as well. I'm like,
Fun,
I know,
fun.
but
If you
I
don't
think
make
it's so.
yourself laugh,
Yeah, I love sort of teaching online because I always imagine that I'm actually speaking to somebody and actually personally teaching.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like as if they're there and yeah, laughing at my own jokes or I am not. I sort of tell them off for energy drinks and things like that. When we're doing this nutrition lesson, I'm like, but don't ever have energy drinks. You're not allowed.
yes,
They kill your
yes,
stomach.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So I do go off on tangents and I do apologise
I
to
think
students when
I
I'm not
also
there.
apologize. I get a little bit
But
occasionally.
that's what we love. It's like it is a personalised course. Every
Mm.
teacher is different, and how
Yes.
they teach and present their work is all different. And that's what I love. It's not just the same old, which gets a bit dull after a while. You need that variety and
Mm.
diversity because obviously, like a lot of, I find a lot of home ed students are because of anxiety, autism, ADHD, behavior, all that sort of stuff. So the accessibility of recorded courses give them time to like
Definitely.
pause, do it in their own time, and so forth. And if they laugh along with our jokes as well, that's even better.
Exactly. I hope it makes somebody laugh. But this is like, I think what you're saying there is the beauty of like working with Lucy is that we
Yeah.
both have extremely different styles.
Yes.
If I don't sit down and I record the whole thing in one sitting, I'm like, I get distracted with the
Yeah.
ADHD. Like,
Yeah.
whereas Lucy is like has like does a little short bursts. And I think that's
Yeah.
the beauty of what we're doing is that I think it becomes a really like good course for a number of different learners.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's not for everybody. Some need
Oh,
that
exactly.
that one-to-one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for
I was
sure.
just talking about my daughter, and I think, I've got all these courses, but she needs that
Yeah.
um allocated time to
Mm,
focus and know she's got to do it. Otherwise, she'll procrastinate
definitely.
and oh, it's just
Yeah, definitely. Which is what I also love about tutoring.
yeah,
Um, well, just in general tutoring. And
yeah.
yeah, I'm starting doing some small groups. So there's gonna be that sort of idea of like a community of learners, which I think is really, really
Yeah,
great.
I love that. I love that with my groups. It's like we'll have a chat whenever. And I do more jokes.
I always tell jokes.
They don't laugh half the time. I'm like,
Most of mine do, but I think they're being polite.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's your then experience about send then?
Yeah, so I worked as a TA, and I loved working as a TA, a lot of one-to-one work, a lot of working in also small groups, to be honest. And then when I was doing PGC, I tried to really focus on supporting SEND students. I've always been very interested in SEND, and I never was quite sure why. And then 2 weeks ago, I got diagnosed with ADHD. So
Yes.
it kind of, I think it came from a very personal spot. I've also dealt with like, anxiety and depression, particularly at school, actually. In
Yeah.
my GCSEs, I struggle with that very, very severely. So I always have come at education from a very holistic, pastoral,
Lovely.
mental health space because that's what I needed at that time.
Yeah.
I think realizing I also have ADHD has made it so much kind of easier to connect with my students. And it also
Yeah.
explained why I was working with so many SEND students beyond the fact that I was just interested in that and why we always had such a good rapport
Yeah. You
because
get
I
each other.
understood it. Yeah, I understood it without at certain points without even realizing I understood it.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, so
I've got
it
some
was
students, you can see them fidgeting and stuff like get up,
mm,
have a little walk.
have a little break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, let's come back.
definitely.
Or
Yeah,
let's move around and do
yeah, and
something.
I have several students where I know what their face looks like if they've
Yeah,
like left the planet. They're just like, okay, so
I
I'm gonna
have that
come.
with my youngest. I'm like, so I tutor her because she's year 11 science and all that. So I tutor
Mhm.
her and her friends, but I can see her just like glaze over.
Exactly, and I know it because it happens to
Oh,
me sometimes. I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. So
uh,
we come from this, we know and we personally experience what it's like to
exactly.
have these needs and
Yeah.
these learning styles. We're there,
Mhm.
so that's why I love doing these courses for.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always said that if online education was a thing when I was doing my GCSEs, I think it would have been great for me. And for a lot of my friends as well who are neurodivergent, I can sort of see where it would have benefited people in my life, which I find very interesting. So yeah,
Yeah,
I love
there's things need to change, or just
that.
more options need to be made available for people. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because
Because
without
it is,
option,
I speak to a lot of people that are just going, right, we're going to deregister, but I do
mm,
not know where to start. Absolutely don't know.
yeah,
And I'm like, right, follow these questions. Do you want that? And
mhm,
I can go, and they're
yeah,
like, always
great.
at the end of the conversation, then I go, oh my goodness, thank you. I now know where to focus, and I now know what to do, and and things like that.
Exactly,
On our
exactly.
YouTube now, we had an amazing chat with Simon last week. I can't remember. It was I think it was about 2 weeks ago,
One
and
of the
he
weeks.
runs all the exam centres. So there's like because it is not just about getting the course content; it's then booking your exams.
Exactly,
So
exactly. And then knowing
we
what exam board to do and knowing where to go.
Yes. And I
Other,
always, before anyone sort of clicks that button to purchase,
mm,
especially with science and geography, just check with us it's the right course.
yeah,
Just,
definitely,
I've already had
definitely.
that of like they've done the AQA one and they needed the IGCSE, and I'm like,
Yes,
thank goodness I
yeah.
checked. But again, it's all just, yeah, just drop us a message. Just make sure. Go, I want to do this. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
But
mhm.
English is a very popular course.
Yes.
Yes, it is one of the essential ones. What do you think
Mm.
students struggle most with English?
Whew. With language, I would say often they struggle with creative writing. It's
Yeah.
quite rare to find a student who comes to me and is like, I love creative writing. It's usually creative writing is scary and I don't know what to do with it. Exactly,
Ella,
exactly. And
my
I,
youngest, she got an award for creative writing. She used to be so good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've been writing regularly since I was probably about 14. So for
yeah,
me, it's that comes really naturally to me.
yeah.
Um, so it's like, but it's quite often that students are scared of that. And then in literature, poetry and Shakespeare.
I
Poetry
can't
and
do it.
Shakespeare are usually the difficulties there. I mean, I love teaching poetry. Teaching poetry is like my favorite part of literature. Um, Partly because I like seeing students realize they can do it.
I know. I call it the light bulb moment.
Yeah, yeah, because there are ways into it. Like if you are somebody who listens to a lot of music and enjoys lyrics, that's kind of poetry to
It
music. So
is, yeah, it is.
yeah,
But as soon as you
so I
say poetry to
find
me, I'm just like, vroom.
exactly. And I used to be like that until I was about 22, and I was hanging out with a lot of poets, and then suddenly I was like, poetry's great because they're doing loads of readings and stuff, and I was
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Yeah, well, my youngest, I keep talking about her, but she went to a poetry session that my friend ran. She
Mhm,
loved it. She
mhm.
absolutely loved
Yeah,
creative writing. So
yeah, and I
I
think
don't know
it's
where she gets it from. I'm maths and science, and I don't do English.
yeah, and I think the nice thing about poetry is that it's like contained. It's like a shorter text, which
Yeah.
I think often when students get their heads around poetry, they then enjoy. Because in an exam setting, it's easier to kind of pull things together.
Yeah.
But then get over that sort of fear aspect first. And I get it. I mean, I write regularly, but I've never written poetry because I see it as being scary, and I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like
It's
always,
breaking those barriers down, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. So I get it, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, but yeah. So yeah. But no, I couldn't even. Haven't even got the time at the
I
moment.
mean,
But
I couldn't do sciences, so
well, there you
yeah.
go. This is everyone is different. If we were
Exactly.
all the same,
Not a
not
very
well.
science brain.
Yeah, we wouldn't be where we are now, would we? But
No,
yeah.
no,
But it
exactly.
is all about skills as well, isn't it? Learning those essential basic skills that you can then
Mm-hmm.
apply to everything. And that
Yeah.
comes across in our all our courses. It's because the
Mhm.
tutors and teachers do it. They're like, right, I know I do it with my
Need
science.
it.
It's like you've
Need
got to
that.
know
Yeah.
command words and things like that. So it
Mm-hmm.
is strategy.
Peel, lots of peel paragraphs.
Don't if oh, I keep hearing that.
Peel paragraphs. Got me through uni. I used to do
Yeah.
loads of paragraphs.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, it's just
Uh,
but it is a lot of skill based
mm,
stuff.
mhm,
And
mhm.
I know as a teacher, you've just got to repeat until
Yes.
they and exam questions, going through lots and lots of exam questions and model answers and things like that. Especially, I suppose, with English. Is that what you would?
Yeah, definitely.
recommend?
My big recommendation with English is if you want to do well in English, is you just need to write a lot.
Yeah,
You just need to do past papers, you need to just
yeah.
write essays. Like English is one of those subjects where it's difficult to revise for. But the best revision method in my experience is just writing a lot.
Okay.
If you get a chance, just do some writing. Even if it's just a
Yeah.
paragraph, even if it's just short, it's really the key to it because you can't revise for it in the same way you would do with, say, sciences.
No.
Um, so and putting and also when you're doing English, especially with literature, a lot of the ideas are quite abstract. It's like,
Mm,
or similes. It's kind of like in sort of like a different world.
yeah,
But by putting it into action in a paragraph, they become more concrete, they
yeah,
become more understandable, and you know how to use them. So that's my number one advice. Write a lot.
yeah. Write a lot. And
Yeah.
I do always end up in this session with like asking, what's your
Yeah.
biggest recommendation for any
Right.
students?
Write and also read. We never forget the reading. Reading is very
Yeah.
important. And it's often I think in this generation, we got less readers than ever, according to statistics. So also reading is very important as well.
Mm.
You
They
know,
read them on their phones all the time.
exactly. Which I think is also interesting. I was reading something about someone who works in I think AQA or something was talking about how or no, as a teacher, head of English in some school somewhere, he was saying we should be doing like social media based texts. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
because I think another important thing that's sort of forgotten about on the curriculum is media literacy, like
Yeah.
knowing what is and isn't like, fake news, how to understand the differences between different platforms, something that I'm really passionate about actually.
Yeah.
Um, because it's just not taught and it's a really essential skill to carry you through life
In
this
this
in this
era.
current
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And
I was like,
you've got letter writing and
yeah.
other
So you have
stuff.
things like social media post writing or
Yeah.
social post reading or there
Mm.
is an element to this current society where it's media is being used in a more
All the
um
time.
yeah, and in a slightly more manipulative way I think than it was when I was young, which wasn't even that long ago.
It wasn't
50s.
around when I was young.
No, exactly. When I was around, it was starting. I
Yeah.
remember everyone was making their first Facebook page and like
Yeah.
my during my GCSEs, but it wasn't used in the same way as today, which I think is quite a manipulative way that can trick people. So I think
Mm.
media literacy is really important.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not taught.
I know. Maybe you never know. There might be something new coming along.
Exactly, hopefully.
Yeah. Bit of a change. But
Yeah,
and
because we
and
need
if
it.
anything does change, our courses will change as well. We will always.
I will gladly do a module on literacy and media literacy. I'll be there ready to go.
I'll be opening my emails in the morning going dum, dum, dum,
I'm
dum,
like,
dum, dum.
yes, I'm on it. I remember I had a lecturer at uni who also wanted to do a whole university module on memes, which I thought was incredible.
Wow.
Right? Reading memes. I was like, that's amazing.
Well, you could just design a course anyway.
I could just do it because I
You
think
could
you
just
need
do
to
it.
know how to
How
read it.
to, well, you could create a course. It's like how to write on, like for social media. And we
Yeah,
can put it on
yeah.
National Tutors. It can be like
Yes.
Key Stage 3, kind of,
Yeah. And also, yeah, writing and you know what? I'm gonna
should we
write
write
that
this
down.
down?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
that because now I'm ready.
Let's do this. Are you writing it down?
Also writing it down.
Good.
So module.
There we go. You see, it's not, if we don't talk and I don't have all these
Yeah,
conversations, oh my God, yeah. And that would be a lovely little
I'd be
mini
very
course
happy
to
with
do.
that. Yeah, and I think it is just so important.
Yes.
So
You've got to
important.
change with the times and yeah.
Exactly. So
Mm.
I'll do that definitely. That'd be really fun. That'd
Yeah,
be really
that'd be good. That'd be good. Oh,
very cool.
amazing. So good. So your recommendation to end our little chat is what I know you might have already said it, but just summarize what is your biggest recommendation for any
Biggest
student?
recommendation is quite simply to write and also to read. Like trying to read a new book, at least one book off the curriculum at least once a month, if not once every
Yeah.
2 weeks. Plan. Make it manageable. You don't want it to feel like a. I mean, in one ways, it's try and make it enjoyable, try and choose books that you're interested in. I'm very against the kind of snobbery of like what is a good and a bad book. If
Mm,
it's interesting to you, it's a good book, in my opinion. And
yes.
also writing a lot, just writing kind of as much as often and as regularly as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And suppose if you struggle with, you don't know what to write, get those past
right.
papers,
Past
get those
papers.
past papers and
Past
just,
paper it out. If you read a book you really like, you can then write a little essay on it, for instance, as well,
yeah.
which is a really nice way of like summarizing and kind of bringing together what you've read.
It's a bit of
So
active
yeah,
learning as well, isn't it? It's not
exactly,
going
exactly,
around highlighting things. It is
exactly.
condensing
Yeah,
in your own words
exactly. Own
what
words is
you've
very
learned.
important. And then putting all of the kind of slightly abstract ideas into practice and making them concrete.
Mm,
Yeah,
love it. I love a bit of active learning.
me
Do
too.
not recommend passive.
No, no, it's not so good.
No, no. And that's how we used to revise, though, that we were never
Yeah, it
taught
is. It
how to
is.
revise.
It
And I still
is.
remember doing that, going, no, I'm
Yeah.
doing it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
anyway,
No, definitely. And then now in hindsight, I'm like, I would not advise any students to do
no,
that.
no, not
So
at all.
yeah, it's interesting.
But amazing, so much. And we've got a new course coming now and everything.
I know.
Oh, that's brilliant. But thank you very much. And yeah, English language. I always have to think about which one is it. It's
But
English
yeah,
language.
language.
The Daisy is part of the English language course, which is very
And I think
popular.
maybe literature, afterwards. Maybe we'll see. Poetry.
Well, we've got a few poetry ones now, but it's the maybe having a little mini unseen poetry one, perhaps, because it is kind of incorporated with the others.
Oh,
But yeah.
I do love unseen poetry. We'll see.
Brilliant. Right. I will pause now. I'll stop the recording. And it's been lovely speaking to you. And
Nice
catch
speaking to you
Daisy on
too.
our courses. So
Yes.
see you later. Bye.